Hello and welcome back to Bakerwood Bunker part 5. Right, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done any videos on progress on the layout. Been a bit busy, but I have done quite a lot, as you can see. So let's start with the actual structure of the layout itself, as it were. Now I've got a board along the front of the layout here, as you can see, painted up and fixed, and now one of the next stages is to get the back seam board in place. So as you can see, I've put some retainers and supports around the back where I'm going to fix the back seam board too. I've got a long sheet of PVC board that's about 11 inches deep. Managed to pick up an 8-foot length of that from my local scrap store. I picked up a spare one as well, just in case I have any accidents with the first one, for a very reasonable price. It's very flexible. So the idea is, in one go, I'm hoping to be able to bend it around, support it here, and come right the way around the back of the layout and back around here. There'll be cutouts, obviously, where the trains will go off scene, as it were, there, and in the back of what will be the transfer shed here, as you can see, for the narrow gauge line to go through. As far as the transfer shed itself, I've managed to get hold of this old Hornby diesel depot. A colleague of mine at work let me have one, and what I'm going to do, or the plan is once we get it all structurally sound, squared up, paint this lower part of the structure sort of concrete colour. The top sides where the windows are on the original model, I'm going to clad with like corrugated sheet, metal sheet, and I'm also going to use that across the front here where the windows would normally be in the front. Being a sort of army installation, I'm not the ones I've seen, not too many windows and things, not too big a view of the inside. Really, it's just going to be a case of peeking down at sort of track level and see what's going on in there. The platform I got there, picked up at a show recently. It's been chopped about a bit to fit the position I want. That'll be resurfaced, stuck down, put a new surface on that, and there'll be lots of armament stacked up and things on there. You won't get so you don't get a completely clear view right away through the depot when there's nothing in there. I picked up some resin packing cases which I've painted up and are ready to be stuck down onto the platform. Also, I've got lots of bombs and rockets and things that, again, a work colleague has passed on to me from various aircraft kits he had left over. So I'm in the process of painting them up and what have you. They'll be stacked up on the platform, as well as making loads for the open wagons on the narrow gauge. The roof, where the roof windows are on the transfer shed, not quite sure what I'm going to do there. Again, not really too keen on being clear windows in there. May put some sort of shutters or something over them. You know, you don't want too much of this to be seen from the air, so it's a case of subtly trying to hide this shed in amongst the surrounding countryside, as it were. Right, Moving on to the Trackwaork. The Trackwaork has all now been laid, wired, ballasted and stuck down and weathered as well. Used the airbrush, gave it a good spraying over with sleeper grime. I've just completed that today, so I sort of weathered that in, then cleaned off the rail heads. The rail sides of the rail were all painted previously, so we've not got really shiny rails, and as you can see on the standard gauge, much the same. Hopefully that gives it a nice sort of natural weathered look. Now the points. The last video I was discussing investigating the use of wiring tube for operating the points. Having done a bit of research into that, decided against doing that. So I know they're rather obtrusive, but I went with the Pico PL11 point motors, surface mounted point motors, and there's only 4 of them, and they come into this Pico switch block here that I've just popped on the front of the layout, and a Pico CDU as well, recommended. Now I gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed with these point motors. They were incredibly difficult to get fitted. I followed all the instructions to the letter, did everything that Pico said, got them fitted, and out of the 4 only 2 of them actually worked. After a lot of adjustment, taking them apart and various things, I managed to get all 4 working at the same time. I'm powering them with the auxiliary output on my Hornby Elite controller, which works at just over 15 volts. So yeah, I managed to get all 4 working, but alas, since then I'm down to 2 of them working perfectly, and the other 2, the points motors will throw the blades one way but not the other, which is rather frustrating. One set sometimes works, another time it won't. So sometimes I've got sort of 3 sets working almost, and then other times it's only 2. I've spoken to Pico, and all they can say and tell me is that the output from the Hornby Elite at 15 volts is not enough power to fire the point motors, which I find a bit strange, bearing in mind, as I say, that 2 work absolutely perfectly. Why this should be a problem to the other 2, but there we go. So I am currently on the lookout for a 16 volt plus power source for the point motors, and see if that makes any difference. Now, in preparation to have lights in buildings on the layout, we've set up I've got a power supply underneath the board here, and wiring through a dimmer control. And as I say, this will be for the lights that I'm going to use on the layout. The only things I've got wired up currently off of this are these little red lamps that I've got on the 3 sets of buffer stops. As you can see, they all work quite nicely, and they are dimmable. As I say, you can turn them down a bit until they go off. There we go, that's about as low as they'll go, or they can go much brighter if you want, but that's way too bright in my opinion, so we will probably have them down somewhere about there. Try and make it really subtle. The ones down this end, slightly more of the bulb is showing, so they do look quite bright. Now, behind my Bachmann stroke model rail USA tank and Longmore Military Railway coach, you can see there's some Pico platforming edging that's going in. That's where the short station's going to be for the staff, and that'll be one of the next projects to complete once the back scene is in place. But that's a little way away yet. The back scene does all need painting. Basically it will be all blue with a little bit of green lower down, which will be hidden behind foliage. The plan is at this end of the layout, just about here, is to have a level crossing, small road to come across there, and up here, tarmac sort of area here, track come up here to the transfer shed. And for that I'm going to use some self-adhesive knock Roadway, which I have bought. This is the stuff here. It's described as being well worn and potholed. Reasonable effect. With a bit of weathering, that should look quite good, I think. I am toying with the idea of actually putting it all the way up over the transfer shed platform, covering up the surface on there, which I don't really like. I think it'll look a little better. I've also got some of the knock wheel tracks through grass as well, which I may lay in other parts where there is more greenery. I'm planning these two sidings, possibly a shed to cover both sidings, or maybe just one. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough clearance for it to only span one track, so I suspect it will be a two-track sort of shed that will come there. Nothing more done with the bunker, although the bunker entrance and the retaining wall here will obviously be something that needs to be done quite soon. Once we start putting some scenic contours in, obviously this will go up a little bit across the top of the bunker itself and then come down here, slope away. I'm hoping there's going to be a bit of space in here, perhaps to get a Nissan hut or something similar, a few little buildings. I've just recently bought a job lot of trees and things, which I've sifted through, the best ones of which I'm going to use up here on the hill, and that will disguise where the trains go out of scene. Anyway, so that's where we are with part 5 of Bakerburn Bunker. Once we got a bit more to show you, I'll make another video. So thanks for watching. If you like it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks very much. Bye bye.